Hello everyone, it's Sunday and that means it's time for another summary of the most interesting urban news from around the world. And by the way, I make these episodes weekly, so subscribe to keep in touch. This time I'll start with Baltimore, where a container ship leaving the port lost control due to a power outage and crashed into the Francis Scott Key Bridge, causing its truss part to completely collapse. Rescuers saved 2 persons from the water and 6 others probably died. Thankfully, the ship's crew was able to warn about the problem and the police managed to stop traffic on the bridge, so lost cars passed the section just seconds before the collision. Now the city will obviously face significant logistical problems, because now neither cars can drive across the strait nor ships can enter the port. So I hope the bridge will be restored as soon as possible. And when it's rebuilt, the pylons will be made more secure so that such cases don't happen again in the future. The Swiss parliament approved changes to the 2035 railway development program and increased spending on it by 3 billion francs to a total cost of 23 billion. This program includes widening of existing railway tunnels and construction of the new ones, as well as modernization of the stations, including construction of an underground station in Geneva. In addition, the parliament approved a long-term strategy until 2050 aimed at development short and medium-range transportation, increasing the number of S-bahn trains and developing suburban stations. Meanwhile, in Indianapolis, public transport is once again becoming a victim of political clashes. The situation is very similar to the story of trains in Wisconsin, which I have described in previous videos. In recent years, the city of Indianapolis has been working to create a BRT system with dedicated lanes. 2 routes are already in operation, and now the city wants to create a third one, the Blue Line, for which it has even received a federal grant of $150 million. But the state government is actively blocking this initiative and doesn't want to hear any arguments or research results that show the benefits of public transportation. At the same time, the Blue Line project started after the 2016 referendum, in which almost 60% of voters were in favor of creating a rapid public transportation system. The first such route, the Red Line, opened in 2019 and became the first fixed route in the city since the closure of the tram in 1953. But despite all this, Indiana State Senator Aaron Freeman says that building dedicated lanes hurts business and overloads the streets, and that buses as a concept are behind the times. Why do we need buses if we can always just call Uber? He says. Oh yeah. And I forgot to mention that the city government in Indianapolis is Democratic and the Indiana State Senate is controlled by Republicans. In short, it's a classic institutional failure when someone is ripping off important work just because they can. It's very sad to see that such an important thing as public transportation system is becoming a target of political struggle and so stupid arguments. But there are good news from Los Angeles. It seems they don't have their own Senator Freeman, so recently the city launched several new bus lanes in the San Fernando Valley, including the 5.6-mile-long lane on Sepulveda Boulevard. In total, there are now 51 miles of bus lanes in Los Angeles, with another 31 miles to come this year. And thanks to these lanes, bus speed have increased by 15%. The light rail system of British city of Sheffield is returning to public control after 27 years of operation under the management of the private company Stagecoach. And by the way, it's the same company that once operated trolleybuses in Wellington, New Zealand. Now the South Yorkshire authorities are planning to work on expanding the network as well as reducing some fares by 10%, making the schedule more convenient for passengers, creating a mobile application called Tram app, and starting deep cleaning of the shelters at the stops. And the last one is the most interesting, because does this mean that the private operator didn't clean them at all? The administration is also studying whether it's possible to expand the network by introducing tram service on the freight line from Sheffield to Stokesbridge and south to Chesterfield. In general, it seems that public transportation in Sheffield hasn't been performing well over the past years, so I hope it will get better now. The Ukrainian city of Lviv is planning to receive 12 used Tatra KT4 trams from Berlin, Germany this year. The wagons themselves are to be transferred for free, and the city will have to pay about 600,000 euros only for their transportation and customs clearance. In addition, the original 1435mm gauge bogies will have to be replaced by the narrow ones with a track width of 1000mm, which are used in Lviv. This will not be the first ex-Berlin Tatras in Lviv. In 2018, the city already received a batch of 33 wagons, which were purchased for 18,000 euros per unit. In addition to the trams from Berlin, this year Lviv is also to receive for free 11 VW trams from the Swiss city of Bern. So even during the military aggression from Russia, Ukrainian cities are finding opportunities to develop their public transportation. By the way, I also have on my channel a video about another Ukrainian city, Vinnytsia, and its tram cooperation with the Swiss city of Zurich. So if you haven't watched it yet, I recommend you to do so. It's also good to clarify that the used trams are not the only tram renewal in Lviv. The city also has about 20 low-floor trams purchased in cooperation with the European Investment Bank. And the newest of these are 5-section wagons built in 2021 and 22, which operates on the newly constructed tram line that connects the city center with its largest residential district. So if you would like to see a separate video about this, please let me know in the comments. The capital of Czechia, Prague, is developing not only its trolleybus service, but its tram network as well. The city has planned to build a new 2.5-kilometer tram line from the Madrzane railway station to Komarzane district, which will replace the current bus line. The construction should cost 26.5 million euros, and another 1.2 million will be spent on the project development. And this new tram line is expected to improve mobility in the area, which is currently undergoing active construction of new housing and suffers from traffic congestion. The route is scheduled to be launched in 2029. The Italian government has allocated 145 million euros to extend Milan's M1 metro line 3.3 km west to Valsesia, Olmi and Baggio. This is only a part of the project cost that is needed to start the work, and the total budget of this extension is estimated at 543 million euros. The work should start in 2025 and last for 5.5 years. Meanwhile, Swiss manufacturer HESS has been awarded a contract to supply battery electric buses to the Swiss city of Lugano. By the end of 2025, the company is to deliver 8 electric buses to the city and set up charging stations at the end stops. The new electric buses will operate on route number 5, which is one of the longest in the city, has a height difference of 117 meters, and is also the second largest in terms of passenger traffic. Currently, public transportation in Lugano consists only of diesel buses, and the electrification of one of the routes is a step towards improving the air quality in the city. Oh, come on, Lugano, you already look too nice. It is interesting that until 2001, Lugano had a trolleybus system and used HESS trolleybuses, so this contract will be a kind of comeback for the company. The end is near. In Barcelona, Spain, they announced a new date for the completion of the famous Sagrada Familia cathedral. The construction is expected to be completed in 2026, which is 144 years since it was started. Esteve Camps, president of the organization tasked with completing Antoni Gaudi's masterpiece, announced that they have enough money and materials to complete the building, including the 172-meter central tower, which is to become the tallest palace building in Barcelona. However, even after 2026 there will be work on the sculptures and stairs to the main entrance, which are scheduled to be completed in 2034. 12 years to build the stairs. Is it a stairway to heaven? As far as I understand, there is no clarity about the stairs, although Estevecams claims that Gaudi's original plan was to stretch the stairs for 2 city blocks. You know, I can hardly imagine this, but we will see. Maybe. In 12 years. For decades, construction was financed mostly by tourists, with about 5 million visitors a year paying 25 to 40 euros per visit, and about a half of 125 million euros that tourism brings in goes to completing the work. Maybe I'm wrong, but to me the Sagrada Familia is also famous because it is constantly under construction and never seems to be completely finished. Perhaps this incompleteness is one of the reasons for its enormous popularity, because the next time you'll see it, it will be different than it is now, and it's like a symbol of the constant incompleteness of the creation of anything in the world. So maybe this process shouldn't be declared complete. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching and see you next time.